Hello friends, and welcome to Marie Green Yoga here on YouTube. And today we are going into day 17 of a series of 30 that I layer in between Pilates fusion classes as well. They can be used individually or as a pair or as a whole series. However you would like to use them up for your preference and body and what you are in need for of today. In today's class, we're moving our way into Utkatasana. For the next preparation class is going into Bakasana. So we're taking it a little bit step by step from day 1 all the way over to day 30. For now, let's sit nice and tall on a block. I always sit on a block lately, and we'll have another block next to us that can be handy to have for standing poses should we need it. For now, sit nice and tall on your sit bones. You can close your eyes, pull the ears back, and checking to see that you're stacking your spine nice and even. Sacrum is slightly raised to the back, and there's a natural lumbar spine curve and a natural thoracic spine curve, and also a natural cervical spine curve. Shoulder blades are supporting us on the back, shoulders away from ears, and we'll start with 3 Ujjai breaths to center ourselves and bring all parts of ourselves into our practice today. Exhale all the air out and inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale all the air out. And slowly returning to normal breathing. And as you feel nice and clear, the energy around you, let's invite all our belongings, energies, powers, and a muscle and physical and energetic awareness into our practice today as we move our way into Utkatasana chair pose, which will take us into spine mobility, leg stretches, and hip flexor stretches as well. So let's come on to our back to start, and you can take the block with you, and we'll take the block underneath the sacrum today and take the right knee into the chest, and we'll start up with our hip flexors. Lifting your seat and then putting the block underneath. Highly recommend to first lay down, then lift the seat, then slide the block in. Trying to balance down onto the block is not always comfortable or works well. So here we are, onto the block, down towards the sacrum area, and maybe even down more towards the tailbone area. Right knee into the chest and hands around your knee. And bringing your knee towards your chest, and active feet and toes, and stretch your left leg forward and get in towards your left hip flexor area, lengthening away from the seat. Breathing, we'll take 3 to 4 breaths right here, and having good time compressing the right side and stretching out the left side. Inhaling and exhaling, and slowly making your way back. Second side, left knee into the chest, adjust. You feel comfortable on the block. Take your right leg forward, left knee into chest. Spread your toes, active muscles, active feet. Left knee to the chest. full extension. And another breath. And from here, extend arms and legs opposite direction. And get some good space and awareness and length for the lower belly and hips and quadriceps, tendons, and the whole quadricep, maybe all the way down to the knee. One more breath here. And then slowly taking your feet in, lifting your seat and the block to the side, please. And then from here, arms to the side, windshield wipe, knee side to side, inhaling and exhaling. And we'll do one more side to side as we tune and tone in towards the side of the hips and the front and the back. And then from here, hands underneath the knees. And then we roll our way up and come to tabletop, please. Hands and toes are tucked under. And we'll take our shoulders and wrists stacked and knees and hips stacked. And arch the spine up to the sky, top of the head towards the mat. Articulate each and every vertebrae. And inhale, extend out through the top of the head. And exhale, hands, knees, toes down. And extend the spine up to the sky, tailbone down. And inhale, long spine. And one more, press hands and knees and toes down. And slowly comes back onto tabletop. Tuck the toes, come to downward facing dog, and have your knees bent, please. Right heel down and left heel down, stretching into the back of the calves, back of your knees. One more, right heel down and left heel down. Make your way over to plank pose. Shoulders and wrists are stacked. Lower all the way down. Untuck your toes. Inhale to cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. And exhale. Come back down. Push back. Child's pose. Big toes together. Knees apart. Getting that nice flexion into the hips. Into our hip flexors. Lower back. And then gently make your way back up to tabletop and downward facing dog. And walking our feet over to the hands, please. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows to sky. Root your feet and come to standing and release the hands. Inhale, arms to sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, long spine. Look up between the eyebrows. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. From down dog, we'll come to plank pose and then back to down dog. We'll do plank and down dog 3 times. Lengthening side body, warming shoulders, moving energy in the shoulders. And see if we can sink our heels down when we come to down dog by holding on to the front side nice and strong. Take your right foot outside of your right hand and take your left knee down to the mat. And then from here we can sink on down and stay with our hands on the mat. We can take a block for the forearms. We can take the forearms all the way down to the mat. The right toes are slightly turned out, knee is slightly turned out. Pull the belly button in. Extend the back body, full connection on the front side. Extend out through the top of the head, through the spine, through the tip of the tailbone, and back up. It's like a nice current while we're getting some good opening into our hips, adductors, and hands to mat. Left hand stays on the side of the mat. Extend your back knee and take your right arm up to the sky. Big wide crescent twist. And exhale, bringing it back down. Step back, downward facing dog to plank to down dog as we articulate each and every vertebrae as best as we can. See if you can move energy from the front of the spine and following all the way up to the base of the neck. And one more, down dog. And then we'll move our way over to plank and articulating our vertebrae. And exhale, coming back to down dog. Left foot outside the left hand. Take your right knee down to the mat and maybe stay here with hands on the mat or coming all the way down onto blocks or forearms. Take your favorite grip and we'll stay right here. Inhaling and exhaling, moving into left adductors and the right hip flexor area. Stretching out the whole spine, making space from the hips into the lower back, extending out through the top of the head and through the tip of the tailbone and back up again. Another breath here. And slowly hands to mat. Right hand slightly out to the side. Extend your back knee. Sweep your left arm up to the sky. Big wide open crescent twist. And exhale, release, hands back down. Step back, downward facing dog. This time around, we'll come over to plank and lower all the way down. And articulate by untucking toes, pulling ourselves forward and up into cobra. Shoulders down and back, ears back, and exhale. Come all the way back down, push back, child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart. Sitting back down onto the heels to make your way back up again. Downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And let's step our right foot between the hands. And we're going to come down into a nice low lunge. Extend the front leg, heel down, toes up. And sinking all the way back down. Inhale. Extend through the top of the head, tip of the tailbone, and then we'll come back and extending and inhale, long spine, and exhale, heel down, toes up, and then we'll walk the left foot in slightly. Maybe we'll take a block for each side of our foot to come into Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Push your right hip slightly back. Left hip forward, sacrum lifted, nice long spine. And if you feel comfortable from there, we'll fold forward, open up the back of the leg. Inhale and exhale. A few more breaths right here. And another breath. And then from here, bend your front knee, take your blocks to the side and step back to down dog. Take your right leg that you just had forward up to the sky and step it back down. Move your way over to plank. Lower all the way down. Inhale to cobra, untuck your toes and exhale, coming back down. Push back, child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, and making your way back to tabletop and to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot steps between the hands and come into a nice low lunge. Extend out from the top of the head, tip of table. Exhale, heel down, toes up. And inhale, long spine. And exhale, heel down, toes up. One more. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, heel down, toes up. And from here, step your right foot slightly in and take your blocks if needed for hands on each side of your foot. Inhale, extend your spine. Left hand can help that left hip to move back slightly. And then from there, we might fold forward. And we'll stay here for 3 breaths. One more inhale and exhale. And slowly Extend the arms, take your blocks forward and away, step back, down dog. Sweep your left leg up to the sky, to the horizon, give it a nice big stretch, and come back down, down dog, plank pose, lower down, and inhale, cobra, and exhale. Come all the way back into into your belly, and then down dog, and we'll meet in downward facing dog, and walk our feet over to the hands, please, and come to dangling pose. Second toe forward, heels back, hands around the elbows, and bending your knees slightly so that your hips and your ankles are stacked above and below each other. And we'll stay right here and letting our sacrum be higher than the lower back. We're letting the hamstrings open up. We're letting the spine be nice and long. And from here, hands to the mat. Move your feet hip widths apart, hands to hips, elbows to sky, and come to standing. Release the hands and inhale, arms to sky. And exhale, hinge and fold. This time around, let's step your left foot back, come up into a high crescent lunge, hands to knee. We'll come into squaring the front knee off over the ankle, extending the back leg nice and tall, and then taking our arms up to the sky and hands interlaced. And then we'll give ourselves a nice big kind of cat and cow version here. Inhale and exhale. And exhale, arching the spine. And inhale, long spine. And we'll do one more. Getting into hip flexors, spine. One more breath. And then we'll sink down and we'll sink it down. Coming into warrior one, high crescent. And exhale, release hands to the mat. Step back, down dog. Take your right leg up to the sky. Bend your knee, sink your left heel down. And then we'll take the right leg back down onto the mat and step the left foot between the hands. And inhale into a high crescent with hands onto the quad. Pull your left hip back and your right hip forward. Release the hands, arms to sky, and interlace your hands up here with index finger to the sky. And then we'll come into our waves into our spine. Inhale and exhale, and arching and extending and arching the spine, and extend one more, last one, and then we'll come into our high crescent warrior one, full quad hip flexor stretch. One more breath, and exhale, release hands on each side of the mat. Step back, downward facing dog, left foot up to the horizon sky, and then bend your knee up here, hip opening, and step it back to your downward facing dog. Press the palms, lift the upper arm bones, come to your plank, lower all the way down, and inhale to cobra, and exhale, take it back down. Push back to child's pose, big toes together, knees apart. We're going to make our way up into tabletop from here and come into our thread the needle shoulder stretch, taking the right arm out to the side and maybe up to the sky, and take your right arm underneath you, shoulder down, side of the head down. Give yourself a little push with your fingers and your left hand, and get into the space on the medial side of your shoulder blade, side body. We are curling around rather than dumping energy straight down, coming into the back of the neck. One more breath. And slowly coming back onto tabletop. Arch the spine, left arm out to the side. take your left arm underneath you and come to thread the needle onto your second side and getting in towards your medial side of your shoulder blade, back of the neck, the whole side body, hip to shoulder. It covers the whole area. Pull the belly button in and you might feel even a little bit more. One more breath here. And slowly release. And bring it all the way back up to tabletop. Arch the spine to the sky, top of the head towards the mat. Release the neck. Take your toes under and come to downward facing dog. Walking our feet forward to the hands. And inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips, elbows to sky. Root your feet and come to standing. Release the hands, and we're going to come to a couple of squats for our preparation for our child's pose. Not for child's pose, for our Utkatasana chair pose. But then towards the end, we'll do a child's pose. For now, turn your toes slightly out, a little wider than your hips. Some have your toes a little bit wide and some of us have them more forward. Check to see that once you go down that it feels good for your knees. Arms to the front and then come all the way down and coming all the way back up. Squeeze the glutes and we'll come down and we'll come to standing and squeeze the glutes. We find the four corners of our feet and we move from our quads. We move from quads to glutes, hamstrings, four corners of the feet. We'll do another 3 here. That's all, just 3. And lowering and lifting and lowering and lifting. And one more, lower and lift. Quads, hamstrings, lower abs. Here we go. And come back down. Widen the feet for feet wide apart. Prasarita Padottanasana C with hands interlaced behind us. Tuck your toes slightly in, heels slightly out so we can access the back of the legs. Arms to the side. Take your hands behind. Roll shoulders up and back. Take your ears back and exhale. Hinge and fold. Top of the head towards the mat. Bend your knees slightly, send your sacrum a little bit higher, and maybe the arms reaches up towards the sky. Shoulders away from ears. Few more breaths right here, inhaling and exhaling. And slowly from here, bring your hands down to the sacrum, down to the mat. Extend your arms and then hands to hips and come all the way back up to standing. Arms to the side, bend your knees and come to the front of your mat. Big toes together, arms to the sky. And exhale, hinge and fold. And from here we come into Uttanasana. We bend the knees nice and light, just a light bend, arms to sky, interlace your hands. So it's like a mix of Utkatasana and Tadasana. And from here, arch the spine. We'll do our 3 articulations, Shakti waves, spinal waves, and move through our vertebrae. And one more, exhale and inhale. And then we'll come to standing and take the hands to the sides and find a block for our inner thighs right above the knees. We'll put a block right there. Here's the block. And then second toe forward and inhale, arms to sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hinge and fold. Hands to earth. Now we bend the knees a little bit more, square off our knees and our ankles to second and third toe. arms forward, and then we'll take the hands to the back and come up onto our toes, and arms to front, and arch the belly in, come up onto your toes, and arms to front. One more, inhale and exhale, and slowly bringing your arms to the front, and maybe arms to the sky, bicep by ears, maybe interlace the hands, and we'll squeeze the block, and we'll squeeze the block, and then inhale, come to standing, and release the hands down, take the block to the side, and we'll make our way for one more Utkatasana. This time around, big toes together, and we'll take it through a Surya Namaskar B. So come to the more front of the mat, big toes together, heels slightly apart, and arms to sky. Inhale and exhale. Touch the earth. Inhale, look up between the eyebrows. Bend your knees. Utkatasana, arms to sky. Squeeze the midline. Exhale, hinge and fold. Step back to plank. Lower all the way. Inhale to cobra. Untuck your toes. Exhale, come back down. Push back, downward facing dog. Right foot between the hands. Left foot flat. Inhale, arms to sky. Warrior one. And exhale. Release back down. Step back. Vinyasa. Inhale. Up dog or cobra. Exhale. Down dog. Left foot between the hands. Right foot flat. Warrior one. And exhale. Hands straddle the front foot. Step back. Plank. Vinyasa. Inhale. Up dog. And exhale. Come back to your downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Lift the upper arm bones. Gaze towards the nose. Sinking your heels. Bind the front body together. And come up onto the toes. So your next exhalation, bend your knees. Look between the hands. Take your step or your hop. Big toes together. Heels slightly apart. Bend your knees. Utkatasana. Squeeze the inner edges of the legs. Arms to sky. And inhale. Come to standing and hands to the sides for Tadasana. And that is our conclusion for our Utkatasana. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, come all the way back down. Touch the earth, Uttanasana, bending your knees, and we'll come all the way down onto our seat. Heels forward, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms over the head, extend arms and legs, opposite direction. And taking our knees into the chest, hugging the knees all the way in. We'll take our hands under the knees and do 3 rolls on our spine. Hands under the knees and rolling your way up, and then we'll massage each and every vertebrae. We're rolling down and back up and down and back up. The head stays off of the mat. One more. And then we'll come all the way back down one more time. Stay here, legs to sky, hands to the side. We can stay right here and enjoy legs up into the air. We can take our legs up and over for a plow pose and close our different articulations onto the spine by moving into a forward fold. Legs can be up into the sky, or legs can be up and over. We can take our hands towards the feet. We stay here. One more breath. And then we'll make our way back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, and resting the legs up to the sky. Bend the knees. Take your right leg over your left foot down, arms to side, and come over into your supine twist with knee over knee, and dropping the knees down. We stay for another 3 breaths here as we get to put our spine back into a nice, new, perhaps more freer place to work from after different articulations on the spine and moving through some standing poses to open up our legs and our hips for chair pose and a final sun salutation. And undo your knees from here, and then we'll come back with the knees to the sky, legs to tabletop, left leg high up onto the right, and then right foot down. Tip yourself over to the right side, stretching in towards your left side of the hip, rejuvenating each and every vertebrae, ligament, and tendon that binds our spine, our spinal column together. One more breath here. And undo your legs, coming back onto your back, knees to chest, and then we roll our way up and come to that child's pose that we were almost heading into earlier when we were going for Utkatasana. Here it is, child's pose to close our practice. Big toes together, knees apart, sink on back, stretch the arms forward, third eye to mat. Closing our practice with a forward fold, with hugging our knees, stretching our ankles from the front, releasing lower back by plugging femurs in. One more breath here. And then we make our way up to a comfortable seat on our block, or perhaps we are deciding to lay onto our backs. So take any of those. We're closing up as usual in this yoga practice series with 3 Ujjai breaths, and then we sit nice and quiet for a few moments together to make sure that we have put all the poses into its right and whole place in our body, and that we can connect to something bigger than ourselves. We've cleared all the debris around us with this practice. So let's sit in that nice, free and clear energy. We'll pull the ears back. We exhale all the air out. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And letting the shoulders drop away from the ears. And we sit in this nice, new, fresh energy that we created for ourselves. About 5 breaths or so. all the little buzzings around the layers of the physical body. Exchange what it needs to exchange with the outer layers. And slowly start to bring yourself back. A nice deep breath, hands to the heart. And I thank you very much for joining me for this practice. And I hope to see you in our next session together. Subscribe, share with a friend, watch the next video. Help me to get the algorithm going with these videos. And thank you again. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.